We have landed at another recipe, and we are going to make now kale pesto wraps, a very creative dish. Let me show you what you need for this recipe. So here we are with the ingredients for the kale pesto wrap, and we're going to start with pine nuts. Lovely pine nuts. You can use macadamia as well. They both are great nuts to use. Of course, what is pesto without basil? Nice fresh basil. Some celery for this salty taste in there, of course. And I'm going to be using the kale because it's a beautiful sturdy leaf and it can hold the contents and it doesn't get soggy too quick. So kale is my preference here. We're going to use some chives. Chives are beautifully kind of garlicky a little bit and much better to use, more hygienic. And some limes for some lime juice to add. These are all the ingredients. So we're going to start with the pine nuts. Throw them all in a Cuisinart. And I'm going to add some lime. I think to start with, should the lime juice, one lime. Alright. Okay, next I'm going to chop up some chives. For all you people out there that love garlic, I know exactly how you feel, but garlic is also hygienically seen very toxic. So it's better to use the garlic greens or something similar like chives or onion greens. It can be slightly toxic still, but it is better than the actual herb. It's a bit milder. Okay, we're going to blend this up. Alright, that's looking good already. Great, I'm going to add the basil. Use at your own discretion, but never put everything in straight away. Just build up your recipes. It's the best way to go about it. As lovely as basil is, it sometimes can overpower a dish a little bit. Great, we'll add a little bit of water. Be careful with the water, we don't want to make the pesto too thin. Great, let's blend some more. Right, I'm going to add a little bit more basil. And I'm going to chop up some celery. And a little bit more water to help it along. There we go. Again, build up your recipes. Stop a few times, taste it, see how the consistency is, and then add accordingly. I always say you got to put love in your recipes. Oh, this is looking like pesto. Big time. Flavor test. Oh, you heard it with my reaction. It's absolutely divine. I'm going to add a little bit more celery and a little bit more lime juice. There we go. There's some celery. This is what we have so far. We have a beautiful pesto consistency. And I honestly admit, normally I would add a pinch of salt to this. But of course, in these hygienic recipes, we're not using any salt. And it's absolutely yummy without it. But for people out there that cannot leave it alone, I would suggest to buy some celery salt, which you can purchase in the Whole Food stores. That is also a pretty good substitute. Otherwise, maybe you can add a little bit more celery stalks. That adds some salty flavor as well, if you desire. Alright, let's move on to the wrap. Well, I already started on the decoration for the kale wraps. With the spiralizer, I'm making some fine carrot strings. Always looks very decorative. There we go. Always beautiful. Okay, next I made some strips of red pepper. And then we're going to put some zucchini in there as well. Oh, I did the same with some zucchini. So here we are with the decoration for the wraps. We got the kale, we have some zucchini, some carrot, and some fine strips of red pepper. And of course the pesto we made earlier. And let's roll it up. And of course this is fun and easy to do. Some pesto in the middle. And there are no rules, use your creativity. The strings of carrot or zucchini might be a bit long, so just cut it up a little bit. And let it come out on either side. And then we roll it up. The stem on the very end is sometimes a bit too tough, you just cut it off. Now then, to close it, two things you can do. You can use a toothpick, like so. I'm sure you've seen it all. Depends a little bit on the leaf that you're using. This one is quite tough. If you do it very carefully, it will stay perfectly in place. The next one I'll show you. There's another way of doing this. Stem off. And if you can find it in the store, it's lemongrass, which you can just tear off, and it's a very, very tough leaf. You can strike it off like this. Did the camera get that? Yeah. And then you can roll it a few times around it and tie it. Still be gently though. I mean, it's not that tough, but if you're gently enough, it will not break. Okay, well, I will hold it nicely together for you to put it on the plate. And we're almost done. Just a presentation. And I always stress, make an effort, even if you're eating all by yourself. This will get the digestive juices flowing. And you can take a leaf out of your garden, use it for decoration. Et voila. Enjoy, enjoy. Well, that was the kale pesto wrap. I hope you enjoyed that one. And stay tuned for the next one. Next we're going to be making stuffed tomatoes.